Hey witches, this is Dawn from Aurora Dawn, and this is June 17th, early morning. Birds are starting to sing, but it's 5:08 in the morning. There is a reason my mom named me Dawn. Okay, so this video is in a series of videos of my shadow work where I share what I am doing to work on my shadow, and hopefully that will inspire you to work on yours. And this will give you ideas, inspiration, and whatnot. So where we are in this series, I'm putting together a ritual in meditation. A teacher guide said to start on purification first. So that's what I did. I created a sigil in my book of shadows. Very elaborate and beautiful, isn't it? But this is where I scribble all my stuff in. A book of shadows, a lot of people think of it as, well, this is how I cast my circle, and this is the wheel of the year, and things like that, and that's fine. And that's a good exercise to go through to decide, what am I all about? What are my principles? What are my ideas, my opinions? What works for me? And but this is my I'm testing things out book, and seeing what works and where I'm going, what I'm learning, my goals, and hopefully I can reach my goals, and I'll write about that in my book of shadows. This is my shadow journal, and I talk about my shortcomings, my toxic negative beliefs that I'm working on, and so on and so forth. So this is part of that series, and this is the end of my ritual, putting together my ritual for purification. And of course I have other rituals, but this was something that came up, and it was specific to my journey and where I'm going and my next step. And I really feel that this is a very powerful ritual that I've put together. So let's get into it. Oh my, I need my notes. All right, so then I put together this ritual because I felt this was important for my next step to push me forward, and purification is what came to me. So what I did was created a sigil, and I just the basics, just broke down the word took out all the vowels, and then I had consonants, took out any extra consonants, double consonants, not extra. And what I had left, I just formed into a glyph, and I'm going to gaze at that card. I put it on a card, and gaze at it, soften my gaze so that I'm not actually looking directly at it, but kind of out of the peripheral, using the peripheral of my vision. It's hard to explain, but once you get into it and practice and play with it, you'll know what I mean. And then after a while of gazing at it without blinking, what happens is it'll change. It'll become like a negative. So anything that's black or dark will become white or gray, light gray, and anything that's light will turn dark. So it becomes a negative, and then you know you're connected. You've got it, and that's a way of activating. There are different ways of activating your sigil, but that's one way. And I want to do this daily. Other people, they make the sigil, they activate it, then they burn it, or they bury it, or they rip it up and throw it out into the river, or whatnot. Whatever floats your boat. But I want to feed this symbol, and I want to make it a part of my subconscious, imprinted on me, so that it generates this energy, and I want to use it to, what's the word? Entrain. So I'm going to use this symbol to entrain my energy and become the energy vibration of pure. My purification ritual is about acknowledging that I am pure and embracing that truth. The goal is to get my being, all of my bodies, and there are 7 bodies that make up a total human being, okay, to resonate with the energy of pure. When you do something on the physical, it affects all of your bodies. When you do something on the emotional, it affects all your bodies. When you do something on the mental level, it affects all of your bodies, so on and so forth. Okay, so I'm going to start with this ritual and see where it takes me. I have no idea where this is going to go. I'm sure there will be changes and modifications, and as I grow, adding new things. There really isn't any material online. I looked online to see if anybody else was doing this with sigils, and I can't find anything. I don't recall anything that I've read. So I'm kind of on my own, which is great, which is fine. I love that. But I also love to have inspiration from other people. Oh, I've done it this way and it works great, and I want to try it and see if it works for me that way. But I couldn't find anything, so I kind of have to figure this out on my own. So what I did is I took cardstock, and you can use, cereal box or something, or poster board. Dollar store has poster board, fairly cheap, of course, dollar or sometimes less. Some of their things at the dollar store are 50 cents. So anyway, I cut them out and made these cards, and I felt that black needed to be on the back side, and I just painted this white, just like a primer. And for my sigil, I felt yellow needed to be in the background. So I painted the card yellow. I painted it white first, like a primer, and then painted it yellow. And then I painted the sigil on the card. So it's right over here. I have it set up right here. So that's what it looks like. And of course the back is black. Pretty nice, huh? And I just have it set up here, and then I have my candle, and what I've been doing actually, is to light the candle, turn out the lights. That's helpful. It doesn't have to be dark, dark, dark. It can just be like maybe one lamp on that's kind of nearby. As long as you have enough that you can see the sigil, the lines, and then gaze at it for as long as it takes until it changes. It'll change, and everybody, I think different things happen to different people. For me, it turns into a negative, and I don't mean negative as in bad or toxic. I mean negative as in a picture negative. One of the things I thought about doing is embellishing the card. So putting little fancy stuff on it, like little gems, sticking little gems on it, or doodling on it, or something like that. But I felt like it was going to detract from it. If I'm going to gaze at it and I see other little doodads on it, it's going to detract and distract from me gazing at it. I'm going to look at it and get distracted. So I decided just to leave them off. And so that I don't get it distracted. Okay, so the other video I talked about the herbs and how I used the pendulum to see what level of effects those herbs would have on my person. And the thing is I learned a long time ago when I went to a naturopath after a doctor told me that there was nothing wrong with me. And I just told her that my hair was falling out, my tongue felt like there were paper cuts on it, my stomach was not digesting properly, it felt like I had rocks in my stomach, and I was falling asleep during the day, even after getting an 8 hours night's sleep at night. And she told me I was fine, there's nothing wrong. So I went to a naturopath, and the naturopath used a machine that's hooked up to computer software that when he went through the list of herbs that I needed to heal, he tested me and found which herb would work best for my body, for what my body needed. So there are several different herbs that help with the liver. My liver was inflamed at that time. So he went through the list of all those herbs and found the one that responded best for me. Now they all would have worked, but this is the one that would have worked best for my body. My body will absorb yellow dock. this is an herb that helps with your liver, and it was more receptive to my body than dandelion root, milk thistle, and several other herbs. So he told me to take yellow dock for my liver, and it worked. It worked very well. And it's not to say that dandelion would not work. That's a double negative, sorry. So that's not to say that dandelion would have been fine. It would have helped. It would have probably helped me heal. But this yellow dock, it was more receptive by my body. My body was more open to it, receptive. It had a higher level of effects. Having learned that lesson, I decided to use my pendulum to see which herbs would be most effective in helping me purify my entire being. Now, I didn't go through the 7 bodies, but I did the body, mind, and emotions, and spirit. I felt like I needed to do spirit. Maybe spirit is kind of a generic or general term. I don't know. Let's stay focused. I found that lemongrass, rosemary, and hyssop really worked well. As far as the pendulum, it says that the highest level of effects are those 3 herbs for my body, and so my physical body. And I feel that if I work on my physical body, the other bodies will respond. And I do have other things that I do for like my emotional body, mental body, things that I've learned through self-mastery. And that's, I do have a course for that, specially designed for witches. And so I'm going to be putting that online and offering that sometime soon once I get my act together. But anyway, so I went out and grabbed this. This is from Target. It's Tazo Tea. And I know it's backwards because, you know, Facebook. Yes, I do have the flipped turned off. The mirror selfie switch on my camera is turned off, but for some reason Facebook can't turn it around. YouTube can, but I can no longer live stream on YouTube. So anyway, long story, tangent over. Pick this up. This is lemongrass, but it also has spearmint in it and green tea, which is fine. And I got this from Mountain Rose Herbs. This is hyssop, and I also started growing it. So this is leftover from before I started growing it myself. And last video I talked about this. This is a bottle, spray bottle. I believe April Jo got it from Target, and you fill it up with water, and then you put essential oils in it, and you shake it up and spritz. And it's wonderful. It's a great pick-me-up, and it smells great. I put it in my hair, all over my clothes. If you put lemongrass in it, lemongrass is hot. It burns. It'll burn. So just put a tiny bit, and also if you put too much, like I put it directly on my skin when I have like a mosquito bite, but you need to keep your clothing away from it because it will stain. But the lavender does not stain, and geranium, as far as I know, does not stain. My ritual, I'm going to start with smudging. I have white sage that I love to smudge with best, and I'll have to talk about that in another video. Why I use white sage to smudge. It's a lesson that I've learned out of experience, which was dramatic for me, so I stick with what works. Okay. Prayer of intention to realize that I am pure. This is part of the second step in my ritual. Then light my candle, drink my tea and relax, gaze at the symbol on the card until it changes. So I won't be doing anything else. Once I start gazing at the card, no blinking, just breathing very methodically, very light and relaxed. And then at the end, a prayer of thanks, and then I'm on my way. So then I'll snuff my candle. And that's another video I need to make about why do you not want to blow out the candle. Okay, and that's just it. It's very simple. I feel it's important for me to keep it simple, otherwise it'll be just too much to do, and I won't do it. I know, I just won't do it. So this is the beginning of my journey on this. I don't know where it's going to go, what's going to happen, but it's very interesting to see how this is developed. And I want to encourage you to do something like this, to do something that'll help you go dive deeper. And I went with something very simple. I am pure. I feel is going to resonate throughout my entire being and start making some changes. Transformation, that's what shadow magic is all about, is transformation. And that's what I want. I want to transform my physical presence here on this earth to one that is more spiritual, one that is more light and filled with joy. And all the struggle that we experience is because we're too dense. More than one way, huh? Okay, so yes, we are too dense, and we need to lighten things up. We need to make ourselves more of a magnet for joy. And the more that I grow spiritually, the less that I need physically, the less that I desire physical items. I realize there's more reality. You know, the spirit world is more real. Then when I engage in the spirit world, when I engage with my allies, my spirit guides, I realize more and more that on that side, on the other side of the veil, as they say, that is more real. That is where the rest of my being is. Not all of my being can fit in this body. So the rest of me is on the other side. And that is very interesting. I'll get into that in another video too. But how we can use that, how we can make that connection with spirit to change and improve our physical lives. We're here to learn. We're here to find our way back to source. When we grow spiritually, it helps everybody around us to grow spiritually because we become lighter. Your energy is lighter. Your energy feels better. And when people are around you, they get inspired. They feel it. They feel that energy. And it helps them grow. It helps them learn. And you being more compassionate and more understanding with them helps them feel more loved, more like they're respected and they're cared for. People care about them, and it just goes a long way. Goes a very long way. So I know this video is short, but I wanted to do this and come to an end to the ritual little series within a series and say I'm done and I'm going to be doing this every day, and I will let you know. I'll report in about a month or so. I'll let you know how things are going and how it's affecting me. And I hope you are inspired to do something for yourself to make your life better. Okay? So I want to thank you so much for watching my video, and thank you very much for all your comments. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see other videos like this, subscribe and you'll get notified when I put up a new video. And until next time, you have a wonderful week and blessed be.